Hey, you guys. So I'm back again with another message from the Lord. This particular message dropped in my spirit whenever I was reading the book of Isaiah. I told you guys, God got me in the book of Isaiah. I was reading Isaiah chapter 22 last night, and God clearly let me know that you warned them, you did your part. And I know I was talking in a previous video where I was saying, about, how God will use his children to warn people, and sometimes they don't listen. It's not your fault, um, and different things of that nature. But I do get how sometimes we try to warn people and it still bothers us and it hurts us because we have a heart for people. And I used to be like that so bad, and I had to ask God to kind of like deliver me from that because some people, whether we like it or not, they're going to have to learn the hard way. Some people have to learn through judgment. Some people have to learn through disobedience, going through judgment due to disobedience because um, they have hard heads, they have hard hearts. Um, and, you know, we just have to learn how to just pray for them. But we can't get to the point to where it bothers us. And it used to bother me so bad to where um, I will worry um, about the people. I would cry because I knew what was coming. And I had to ask God to like deliver me from that. But by reading this passage, God had let me know how much I have grown from that place, and that I wasn't the only one that was like that because even Isaiah was like that. So I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 22. I'm going to read verses 1 through 4, and then I'm going to read the commentary. Um, and this is a message about Jerusalem. This message came to me concerning Jerusalem, the valley of visions. What is happening? Why is everyone running to the rooftops? The whole city is in a terrible uproar. What do I see in the revealing city? Bodies are laying everywhere, killed not in battle, but by famine and disease. All your leaders have fled. They surrendered without resistance. The people tried to slip away, but they were captured too. That's why I said, leave me alone to weep. Do not try to comfort me. Let me cry for my people as I watch them being destroyed. Now, this is Isaiah, right? And so the commentary said Isaiah has warned his people, but they did not repent. Thus, they would experience God's judgment. Because he cared for them, Isaiah was hurt by their punishment and mourned deeply for them. Sometimes people will care. Sometimes people we care for ignore our attempts to help. So they suffer the very grief we wanted to spare them. At times like this, we grieve because of our concern. God expects us to be involved with others, and this will sometimes require us to suffer with them. And so Isaiah was sometimes, he was suffering with them because he was mourning for them because of their disobedience. He wasn't suffering as far as going through judgment. He was going through a place of suffering because he was mourning for them, right? And so because he tried to warn them. And it's like a parent, it's like a sister, a brother, when you try to warn your siblings or your parent try to warn you don't do something because they can see what you don't see, they can hear what you don't hear, and they're trying to stop you from trouble and things of that nature. You still do it anyway, and you end up getting the result that they said was going to happen. And mind you, it troubles your parents. It makes your parents weary. It makes them feel bad because they wanted you to avoid whatever that you could have avoid, but you did it anyway. And so we are human, right? But um and sometimes we will still experience this, but I'm glad that I got to a place in my life to where God had allowed me to be able to warn people and to not let it bother me and worry me so much. Um, because you did your part, right? You are human, but like I said, he showed me how much I grew. Because even though we are human and we care for people and we supposed to care for people and we supposed to have the heart of Christ, sometimes y'all, it's like some people, they gonna go through judgment because of their disobedience, and we still have to pick up our cross and still follow God and continue to go and continue to move forward. And with me, it was to the point to where I would just sit there and I would cry and I would weep and I wouldn't want to do nothing. Like, it was putting me in a state of depression, right? Like Jeremiah went into some states of depression. Like the different prophets in the Bible, when you read, some of them like doing certain things and trying to warn people and they won't listen. They went into different states of depression. And depression can lead to other things. And that was one of the things that I wanted to get kind of like delivered from, because it's like I don't want to take on everybody else's burden when I know I still have to go forth, when I know I still got to move forward and do the things of the Father. But if you are like this, just know that you warned them and you did your part. And don't beat yourself up, because we, as children of God, we beat ourselves up and we try to ask God, well, God, was there something else that I could have do? Maybe I could have did this differently. No, you did your part. Okay, you did your part. Some people are going to have to go through judgment because of their disobedience. You just make sure you do your part and um be an Ezekiel 33 and keep it moving, because a lot of people are going to still go through judgment. A lot of people that I have been reading in the Bible, like, they kept going through over and over and over again because of their disobedience. And I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything else, but yeah. Oh, and as long as you're being a watchman on the wall, so, and you're doing your part, all right? Because the night before, God had me. I know Ezekiel talk about watchmen. So I didn't know Isaiah was talking about being a watchman on the wall. But as long as you're being a watchman on the wall and you're doing your part and you're warning people and they don't listen, that judgment falls on them. But don't beat yourself up because the people didn't listen to you. Don't beat yourself up and drag yourself down to a place of depression to where you can't continue to move forward. You're going to have to get up and you're going to have to move forward. You tried to warn them. You did your part. All right. I'm not going to say that you, I'm we are all human. We are all going to have our moments. We are all going to have our times of mourning, especially if you tell somebody something and they've been disobedient. It can cost them a life, right? It can cost them to not no longer be here in the land of the living. It's okay to mourn, but don't stay there long. When Moses died, God gave the people a certain amount of time to mourn. And after that time, they had to get up and they had to keep moving. So make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure you guys are being watchmen on the wall. Make sure you guys are giving the people what God had told you to give them, but don't beat yourself up about it, okay? Because we as children of God, sometimes we can be extremely hard on ourselves. And we have to learn how to give ourselves grace, okay? You warned them, you did your part, okay? And give yourself grace. I love you. I pray that you all have an amazing day, and I will chat with you all later.